throughout the match. Kcal's burned, number of jumps, how far they have moved in kilometers. So here we go with Russia winning the toss, putting the United States in to serve and immediately siding out. Then they play at a fast and furious tempo, the Russian duo, so the Americans must be ready for quick play from the get-go and not let the Europeans run away with it too quickly.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be fast and furious. You got to be aggressive from the back line if you're going to get a victory, and we will be keeping an eye on that blocking game between Stoyanovskiy and Jake Gibb.
Jake Gibb, for me, is the key to success for the USA. 6 World Championships he's competed in with 3 different partners at 43 years of age. You name it, this guy has seen it. There's a good strike of the ball, though, from the Russian. Stoyanovskiy. It was Stoyanovskiy, my mistake. The number 2 for Russia goes over on the second contact of the ball, powers it away. And Taylor Crabb there really at full stretch. Didn't see that one coming. That's what we mean when we talk about the fast tempo and dynamic play of Team Russia.
That is a huge save by Jake Gibb, crushing it cross court. Krasilnikov making an absolutely beautiful overhand dig, and then Jake has the wherewithal to get to the net quickly and put up a huge block.
Good start to this knockout round. Winners go through to the quarterfinals, the losers head home. Again, Stoyanovskiy covered. That's a better shot. Interesting, Dane, isn't it? When Stoyanovskiy places the ball rather than belts the ball, he has a lot more success than when he tries to hit it at full speed.
Well, he's got both shots, right? And look at the ability to just roll shot it over the top of the 6'7" Jake Gibb. Just incredible, the reach of Stoyanovskiy, who is 6'9".
Look at that for a service ace. Krasilnikov, my goodness. Speed right down the center of the court.
You couldn't have placed that. You couldn't have placed it better, right? Right down the middle. Both Americans absolutely freeze. And he's going to beat you not with a jump float serve, but with a traditional topspin jump serve with a ton of velocity.
Goes for it again. And he gets it again. 2 out of 2 on the serve from Vyacheslav Krasilnikov. Wow, the 28-year-old showing his power and strength there. Early lead at 5-2 for the Russians.
He served this ball almost in the exact same place. This time Jake Gibb trying to cover the middle of the court, but still unable to get there in time. And even the quickness of Taylor Crabb, not enough to run that down.
Does he go down the center yet again, looking for ace number 3? That one is out of play. Good call from Jake Gibb to his partner.
You know, both these teams having a great tournament so far. The Russians 3-0 in pool play. The Americans 2-1. And then, of course, both of these teams won their round of 32 to get to this point.
I think what's interesting about those pool play and elimination round stats that you were referring to, Dane, is that the Russians haven't even dropped a set yet, and that's giving them a real air of confidence about their play. That 3-1 for the USA. They were beaten by Spain. Just gives perhaps a little doubt for the Russians that they can, for the Americans, I should say, that they can get that revenge on Las Vegas here today. It's a good shot. I like that. Taylor Crabb starting to find the answers to the big block of Stoyanovskiy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Nick. The Russians not dropping a set, playing with all sorts of confidence. And look how high over the block that Taylor Crabb has to go just to get a little creative roll shot down.
Here's Taylor Crabb with service. Krasilnikov on the attack. Well, Taylor Crabb had his hands and the body in the right position, just unable to control the speed on the ball. Sensational play once again from Krasilnikov. This time Stoyanovskiy puts the ball away. A wonderful dig from Krasilnikov. Russia finding a good rhythm and fast tempo to their play. But the defense is as equally as impressive as their attacking shots.
Yeah, what Russia's doing right now is they're putting all sorts of pressure on the United States. Just going for it. You know, we haven't seen a lot of finesse shots. It's more power from the back line. The United States has to be ready.
Well, he may have two service aces. When he gets it right, it is exceptional. But at the moment, Krasilnikov is getting more wrong than he is right. And that's just backing up exactly what you've said, Dane. Very aggressive style of play from the Russians.
Oh, just a little bit late there. Jake Gibb, as Krasilnikov just beats him to the punch. It's so important to have that block in position when that ball is contacted from the hitter. You see a little bit late on the jump for Jake. He's actually waiting for a roll shot.
Yeah. 9-5 to Russia. Stoyanovskiy with the service. Again, he puts it out. 103 kilometers per hour. That's close to the fastest serve of the tournament so far, which is just over 105 kilometers per hour. That's 65 mph. Very fast indeed.
And the Russians, they're not afraid right now to really rip the serve. They're not concerned about missing it. They're concerned about getting the United States out of sync. And so far, the gamble has paid off. Nice high extension. Again, off the top of the block. Those few inches that Stoyanovskiy has on Jake Gibb are crucial. Net violation, Stoyanovskiy. You know, I got an opportunity to talk to Rich Lamborn, Jake Gibb, and Taylor Crabb's coach just before the match, and he says everything's in line. His team is ready to basically peak right here at the World Championships. Well positioned right now, but a huge obstacle to overcome with Russia.
Good serve receive from Krasilnikov, who now very cleverly plays that high roll shot over the top of Jake Gibb at the net, maintaining the Russians' 4-point advantage.
What a beautiful shot by Krasilnikov. You know, he's got 5 victories on the FIVB Tour. He's won with Semenov, Leoman, and Stoyanovskiy. He has a couple of victories with, so I'll tell you what, he can win with just about anyone. It's always interesting to observe the players that can win with multiple players.
Yeah.
The perfect example, of course, Pedro Solberg Salgado, 18 victories, 6 different partners.
What was impressive about this new Russian team that joined forces just in 2018 is that the first 2 tournaments that they played, they won. And that is what has got everybody talking about Krasilnikov's latest partner, Stoyanovskiy. And at only 22 years of age, you sense this is the duo for Russia heading to the Olympics of 2020, Dane.
Now talk about a honeymoon phase, right? Winning your first 2
Amazing
events. And that's what happens a lot. If the scouting report is not out on you and people don't know how to beat you, then you can get a lot of victories. And after that honeymoon period, that's when you really get tested.
Oh, there's a trickler. Well, they don't really need any luck, but Russia will definitely take that one with a smile. But most importantly, it gives them quite a healthy advantage going into the technical timeout. The play is stopped for 30 seconds when there's a total of 21 points on the board. And psychologically, for Russia going in at 13-8 rather than 9-12, really puts the heat on Team USA.
And this United States team really trying to figure it out. Domestically, they're dominant, right? They won 2 events in 17, 2 events in 2018, and already a couple events in 2019 on the AVP Tour in the United States. But as we mentioned earlier, they have failed to medal yet on international competition. So they're looking to break that trend, and wouldn't it be great to do it at the World Championships?
There's the Russian boys. Number 2 is Stoyanovskiy, 22-year-old out of Moscow. And of course, Krasilnikov, who we've enjoyed watching on the FIVB World Tour for many years now. I think he's found the perfect partner with this giant of a blocker. At 2 meters 5, that's just shy of 7 feet tall. And believe you me, Stoyanovskiy is athletic and coordinated to go with it. Good cover from Crabb. Jake Gibb is blocked at the net by the youngster that we're talking about.
That all started by the errant pass to the right. Crabb had to throw the ball right up to the net, and by the time Jake got there, the wall was already formed.
Krasilnikov serves Gibb. Gibb on the attack for the USA. And the block is there again from Stoyanovskiy, but good cover. Taylor Crabb, that's a great shot. We need a little more creativity from Team USA to try and stop the Russians walking away with this very quickly indeed.
There's the big block and the cover. It's so important to cover, because if you let balls drop that you could actually cover, it can be costly, whereas if you get them up, it can be extremely frustrating for the blocker.
Jake Gibb with a lovely little jump float short. Again, Crabb, good cover. Krasilnikov finds the angle, cuts that ball perfectly, cross-court. Well, the Russian fans are loving this. 15-9. Starting to stamp their authority on this opening set now, the Russian number 3 seeds.
Wow. Taylor Crabb challenging right there, getting that ball down. But you just get an example of how big Stoyanovskiy is. Even the roll shot, he lands and his hands are still above the net.
Is it his younger brother or older brother that plays with Triborn, Dane?
His older brother, actually. So yeah, Taylor's the younger, Trevor is the older brother, both out of Honolulu, Hawaii. And just incredible players and athletes. I mentioned that Taylor Crabb was the MVP on the AVP circuit back in the United States and best defensive player last year. And this kid is just continuing to get better. When he was at college at Long Beach State, remember, he's only 6 feet. He played outside hitter, and he was a National Player of the Year. Playing against some huge players, he always gets it done because of the quick arm swing.
Do the brothers play together?
They used to play together, but, you know, sibling rivalry here and there, and they've gone their separate ways, and I think it's a good thing, because when they played together, they were very strong, but they both went out and have found awesome partners. You know, Trevor is great friends with Triborn, and Triborn is making a comeback after a bit of a health issue for a few seasons, and Jake Gibb is just the guy with all the knowledge.
Yeah.
43 years old, but he's playing like he's 30.
Oh, excellent hustle from the USA, but it's Stoyanovskiy that wins the battle at the net with Jake Gibb to give Russia another point on the board, and they're starting to get close to closing out this opening set. It's not for want of trying from Team USA.
Stoyanovskiy really shows a lot of agility for a big man. He lands, he turns, he gets up the short shots, and then he has the finesse as well. And he's learned at a very young age, just 22, that you can't be one-dimensional. And so he's got all the aspects that he needs to be a champion.
Second time America get it down to the sand. There, the perfect example of Dane's comment on Stoyanovskiy running around the set as if he was defense, not the blocker for Russia. Look at this guy, a 7-foot giant of a man, but with the agility of a gymnast. Really, so impressive, but good to see the USA get that point down on the board, because they're in a little bit of trouble here, Dane.
Yeah, they're in a hole right now. They're finding it very difficult to score points when serving, whereas Russia has stepped up their game, scored a few points while serving, put some pressure at the net as well as the back line, and that has created this 6-point lead.
So the United States of America call a timeout. That's a good play. Each team is given one timeout to call within each set. It's a 30-second break in the match play, and often the teams will use that timeout in a quest to try and slow the tempo of the opposition or slow the point scoring. And Russia have been putting the points on the board at an amazing rate. That's the thing that I find impressive, Dane, about the way Russia play. It's fast, it's furious, and unless you've got all the answers, they rack up the points at a lightning rate.
And this is what I was talking about. Look at this montage of replays of Stoyanovskiy. He is so high that he has that ability to go directly over the top of the majority of blockers that are on tour.
Good work from Gibb at the net for the USA. Stoyanovskiy sets Krasilnikov. And this time a little finesse on the ball. Nice little gentle touch. Takes Russia within 2 points of sealing this opening set.
Taylor Crabb on defense does such a good job to hold discipline in a full read situation. He sees the shot, reacts, but just gets there a half-second late.
Krasilnikov serves. Oh, there's another staff block from the big man, Oleg Stoyanovskiy. And Stoyanovskiy, look how high he jumps, Dane. It's remarkable.
Yeah, and what happens is Taylor Crabb, left-siders love to try to sneak it down the line, but Stoyanovskiy was prepared. Obviously, he has done his homework, and he knows that kind of no-look shot down the line.
Oh, service error on the first set point for Russia. The USA to serve at 13-20, but it's rally point scoring in beach volleyball. You score points whether you serve or serve receive, as long as you get that ball down to the sand of your opponent's court. Jake Gibb with the serve, serves Krasilnikov. Stoyanovskiy sets his partner. Krasilnikov powers that into a beautiful block from Gibb, but it's a switch of direction from Stoyanovskiy that gives Russia a 21-13. Impressive performance from the Europeans, and a scoreline that has Team USA scratching their heads coming into the second set.
Yeah, pretty dominant first set for Russia. You know, it was close at one point, but Russia never in doubt, always had a 2-3 point lead, and they just continued to build on it. And look at this sharp angle by Stoyanovskiy, getting a big, crushing it cross court, the 3-time winner on the FIVB tour, really having a solid match so far. It seemed like Krasilnikov started it off. Stoyanovskiy brought his level up. As we take a look at the match statistic, 14 kills for Russia as opposed to 5 for the US. 2-1 in blocks. Russia on fire. And I don't know that I've ever seen that. We'll have to double check. 100% side out for the Russians. That's saying they did not give up a point when receiving. That would be impressive, and the first time we've seen it. 36% to Jake Gibb, 18% to Crabb. The Russians really loving the middle shot, causing confusion and communication issues for the United States. But wow, if that side out percentage is accurate, to sustain 100% when you're being served is really remarkable and something that we haven't seen in these World Championships.
And I question whether we've seen it in a World Championships ever before since their inception back in 1997. That's a record that we'll dig deep and come back with later on in the day, because that could be something very special indeed. Here we go with the second set. Russia have won the first convincingly, 21-13. So it's a simple scenario now for Taylor Crabb, who puts the first point on the board, and his partner, Jake Gibb. The USA must win this second set to stay in the match and force the Russians into a third set tiebreak. Good cross-court shot from Krasilnikov. Confidence is so high for the Russians. Dare I say it, Dane? Russia v Norway in the final of this men's competition. There's only one other team that look as solid and as confident as the Russians right now, and that's Norway. They're coming up on centre court later this afternoon.
You know, it could happen. The way the Russians are playing, the way the Norwegians are playing, they could be on a collision course to meet one another in that final. They are on opposite sides of the bracket, that is for sure, so it is a possibility.
Well, this young new Russian player, Oleg Stoyanovskiy, he's a 2014 Youth Olympic gold medalist, under 18, under 23 European champion, but he's starting to make a real name for himself in the senior ranks right now.
So skilled, and usually a tall player, you can try to exploit them and maybe they'll hit the ball out, they'll make some errors, but his game is solid all the way around, and you see that the United States is trying to pinpoint him and, and exploit some sort of errors, but he's not committing any.
Yeah, this young lad here has got all the skills. Coordinated, agile. There he is. Oh, good cover from Jake Gibb. It's gone out of play. 3-all, the scores are tied. I agree with your comment, Dane. Credit where it's due to Taylor Crabb and Jake Gibb. They are digging deep in their repertoire of skills and drills to try and find the answer against this Russian team. They are really playing out of their skins, but and doing well to hold the score at 3-all.
And great hustle there by Taylor Crabb. But the United States not playing poorly.
No.
It's just that Russia is executing. You know, it'd be one thing if the United States was making errors, hitting balls out, hitting balls into the net. No, they're running into Stoyanovskiy at the net, and if the ball gets past him, then they got to deal with Krasilnikov. And every single time it seems like the Russians are converting their defense as well as their side-out percentage being absolutely off the charts.
Another service ace. Oh, that is the 4th ace in the match for Russia. For every one they get right, they miss maybe 2. But when it does get inside the court, it's quite frightening, as much as impressive. Well left by Jake Gibb. 80 kilometers per hour, the speed on the ball. It's around about 50 miles per hour. But it's the topspin that Stoyanovskiy puts on it as well. Makes it so difficult to control on serve receive. Here's the veteran American beach player, Jake Gibb, 43 years of age. And Jake Gibb gets a service ace.
Wow, I think that is the first point for the United States when they are scoring, and the first point that Russia has given up from a receiving end. It becomes an errant pass just to the right, And how about that? Nearly a set and a half of perfect side outs for the Russians.
They soon come back and make the USA pay. A record-breaking match here with the Russian side-out game. But Jake Gibb, he's in the right place, just a few centimeters off target with his block. Krasilnikov serves for Russia.
Oh, wow. How about that? It all started with Krasilnikov's rip of a serve. The United States could not handle it, and Stoyanovskiy just absolutely detonates that ball as it comes over the net. Just to give you an example, the Russians given up one reception. That means that the United States in old scoring, if you went back about 20 years when it was you had to serve to score,
yeah,
the United States would have 1 point on the board after a set and a half. And so that kind of gives you an example of how solid Russia has been when being served the ball, only giving up one. And the United States doing a good job to hang in there, though.
They are doing a very good job. Nice back set from Stoyanovskiy, Krasilnikov. They do hit the ball hard, the Russians. Quick side switch with 14 on the board. A lot of people come to the Red Bull Beach Arena early before the match and try and get rows 1, 2, and 3 behind the players, because often you can catch the ball and keep it. That last spike from Stoyanovskiy went to row 22. He hit it so hard. People who don't expect to catch the ball finally got one. Remarkable. Here he is with serve. Little kiss off the tape. But Jake Gibb now for the USA. Nice high ball over the top of the block. And could that be one of the tactical plays or skills required for Team USA, Dave? Play a higher ball, look for more roll shots rather than power play.
Well, you can't lock into one strategy. That's the thing. At this level, teams are so smart that they're going to switch on you. You roll shot it to the corner, well, they're going to be ready for that the next time, so you got to hit it. And that's where that kind of back and forth game of cat and mouse begins. You got to know what the defense is doing. The defense is trying to counter you. There's a lot of mind games that go on behind what you see.
Again, Stoyanovskiy tools that ball off the block of Jake Gibb. The first break of this second set for Russia at 9-7.
It's a big hit right there off the block. As a viewer, if you want to watch something interesting, a lot of times your eyes go to the ball. But watch the defender in the backcourt. Watch Krasilnikov, the adjustments that he makes. And when he leaves, also take a look at Crabb in the backcourt, and you'll get an idea of what the defender has to go through at that point of contact.
We'll also take a look at the RTBS system as well, Dane, and you'll see how many K-Cows, so often more K-Cows are burned by the defenders than the blockers. They literally are running all over the court. That's a lovely little low, short jump float from Crabb. Looks to finish it now for the USA. Cross court, Krasilnikov has the cover. Stoyanovskiy sets his partner. Jake Gibb is there. Another roll shot. This time is covered by Russia. Krasilnikov tries the same shot. Great play from both teams. Oh, and that's just a little long. Point goes to Russia, 10-8. Hustle on both sides of the net. Best rally of the match so far, but Russia take the point.
That was an opportunity for the United States to score again while serving, but you're getting a glimpse of how difficult it is. The Russians are putting up an absolutely wall. It's almost like it's impenetrable. They are not giving up anything when receiving serve, and it's just really causing fits for the Americans.
Well, Team USA have called a side out, trying to get a break in the play. Number 2 on his shirt to the right of your screens. That is Taylor Crabb, the younger brother, of course, of the Crabb brothers. His older brother Trevor, playing with Tri-Born. If you were with us last night on centre court in the Red Bull Beach Arena, you would have seen his older brother in action from Honolulu. And there next to him, Jake Gibb. 95% side-out ratio now for Krasilnikov and Stoyanovskiy. That is quite an amazing statistic. And it will be fascinating to see where that stat lies at the end of this second set. Let's have a look at the K-Cals. Look at this, 3-8-4 to Gibb, 3-8-6 to Stoyanovskiy, 50 jumps to 55 jumps to Jake Gibb. Wow, those defenders are earning their money out there today. Stoyanovskiy again with the block. Third stuff block of the match for the big defender from Russia.
Krasilnikov laying it out. So good defensively. That's why I voted the 2017 best defender on tour, and then it's Stoyanovskiy who cleans it up. They complement each other so well. The defense in the backcourt, the height at the net. It's just really a match made in heaven.
I totally agree, Dane. There's Jake Gibb on the attack for the USA. Blocked again at the net by Stoyanovskiy. Taylor Crabb finds the answer. Good cut on that ball, cross court. And that's a big point on the board for the USA, because we're just 1 point away from the tech timeout. Halfway point of the second set. Now America need to score on their serve here to keep their hopes alive of staying in this match. Krasilnikov, beautiful shot, cross court, right on the baseline. And it is 12-9 to Russia at the halfway point of set number 2, with the first set already comfortably in their back pockets at 21-13.
Yeah, if you're wondering how these two teams got here, the Russians went 3-0 in pool play, beating Japan, Italy, and Austria. And then in the first round of 32, they beat the Czech Republic, Perusik, and Schweiner. The United States, on the other hand, they went 2-1 in pool play, defeating Uruguay and Russia, that being the other Russian team, and then losing to Woshak and Cantor. And then a huge win, I believe, for the United States. That first round of 32, taking out Gavira and Herrera, the number 9 seed from Spain. And we know about Herrera. He has been around for some time. He is a seasoned veteran. So that's a huge win for the United States, and they would love to get past this Russian team. But I'll tell you what, the Russians are playing nearly flawless. Does not look good right now for America.
I have to agree with you, Dane. This is a mountain to climb for Team USA. And Russia, as we said at the beginning of this broadcast, come into this match confident, unbeaten so far. This is their toughest match of the tournament so far, with Crabb and Gibb seeded 7. But that's an important point on the board. Big side out for the USA to go 10-12 in part 2 of this second set.
How about the joust right there, won by Taylor Crabb, pushing as hard as possible against Stoyanovskiy. And Stoyanovskiy says, how about this? How about I go over on 2? We haven't seen that.
It's good. They've got all of the weapons. They've got a full repertoire, skills, plays, and some really powerful shots. Team Russia are impressive here today. Jake Gibb with a good serve receive. And there's another example of turn and burn from Stoyanovskiy.
Put the ball away every time, and a fighting starting to create some separation.
Free ball for the USA. Need to make this work. Excellent work from Gibb and from his partner Taylor Crabb. Not going to get many free balls like that from the Russians, so they really do need to make it work when it comes their way, Dave.
The one thing I did observe on that is when Russia does not have an opportunity to get a winner, when they have to free ball it over, they never err. They put it in play, and basically Krasilnikov is setting up his partner to maybe get a block because they know that is their strength. They're not going to give you any points. You're going to have to earn just about every single one of them.
And they're starting to wear the Americans down as well. The physical aspect of this game has been huge. And Taylor Crabb, credit where it's due. He's covered more kilometers than anybody out there on court. But a lot of that extra work is because of the Russian style of play.
And that's what you do. You know, we mentioned this American team has not medaled yet. You go hard, you go every time. It's patience. Eventually you'll get there. You know, Jake Gibb knows what it takes to get there. Not yet for Taylor Crabb, but with that type of effort, it's just a matter of time.
Success at last at the net for Jake Gibb against the giant blocker Stoyanovskiy. Dane, you're an Olympic champion, but you're also an incredibly respected coach in the world of beach volleyball. If you were coaching Gibb and Crabb here right now, a couple of words of wisdom to try and help this, save this second set?
Well, they need to serve a little tougher right now because Russia is making it look easy. That looks too routine for me with Krasilnikov just getting there. But a beautiful dig. Maybe the second score for the United States? Yes. So their second point while serving comes at basically 16-14 in the second. That's just pretty incredible. But yeah, if they just have to be more aggressive and more consistent.
Yep.
I think they're executing. I see really great things from them. It's just a matter of doing it over time. And right now, it's the Russian duo who is extremely consistent. They're not giving up much at all. See how hard the United States has to work there to get that point right there. That can be taxing.
It's Gibb with the serve. Krasilnikov now looks to finish for Russia. Perfect weight on the ball. Doesn't need to hit it hard. It's all about placement and timing. Russia go 3 clear once again at 17-14.
You can just see on the face of Jake Gibb, he had it. And on the other side, the contrast, Krasilnikov with the fist pump. Russia just 4 points away from moving on to the quarterfinals.
Oh, it's another service ace. I make that the 5th ace of the match for Russia. 18-14. Krasilnikov this time serves the ball to Jake Gibb. Stoyanovskiy tries to go over on 2. Taylor Crabb wasn't expecting it. It all happened within the blink of an eye, as is the speed of this second set. (19-14). Again, Crabb just struggling a little bit on the serve receive. Gibb sets his partner over the top of the block. Good play. As Dane has already pointed out, Team USA, no shortage of commitment, but having to work so hard to put points on the board with the Russians playing such an economical and effective game.
That's a great way to describe it. You know, really efficient. Every single move, no wasted energy, and that has been the difference.
Crabb serves Krasilnikov, who's on the attack now for Russia. That's his favorite shot, right down the line between the antenna and the blocker. It is match point for Russia.
Krasilnikov just picking his spots all afternoon long. Nearly perfect.
Gibb. Krasilnikov gets one hand to the ball, well left by the Americans. It goes out of play. One more side out for Russia, and they're into the quarterfinals. Sadly, for Jake Gibb of Huntington Beach, California, and Taylor Crabb from Honolulu, who now resides in Redondo Beach, California, this could be their last play. Stoyanovskiy looks to wrap it up for Russia. Oh, that's gone out. Another chance for USA. A glimmer, a hope. But they need to score 3 on their service. Interesting. Russia have decided to call a timeout. It's still there. Use it. Why not? Russian fans in the crowd. And all of the audience have appreciated this complete power play and execution from Russia. It has been fast, furious, and wonderfully effective. The Americans have had a good game, but these two on screen, Krasilnikov wearing number 1, Stoyanovskiy wearing 2, have been quite exceptional. Let's see if the break rejuvenates Russia. 30-second stop of play. Jake Gibb to serve. Stoyanovskiy with a good serve receive. Back set from Krasilnikov. Jake Gibb gives a ray of hope for the USA. 18-20. Could the unthinkable happen here right now? Are Russia finally running out of pace? Is the tank empty? Match point number 4. Here's Gibb with service once again. Krasilnikov sets Stoyanovskiy, and it's all over. 21-18. A brave, brave battle from the Americans, giving heart and soul to try and stay in this second set. But Russia playing a game that is exceptional. If they can maintain this quality of play, it will be difficult to stop them taking the gold here. Krasilnikov and Stoyanovskiy, 21-13 in the first set, 21-18 in the second set.